Come. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. Khan, the brothers at Light of Zion will introduce himself.
Shalom, shalom. This is Captain Kadash from the Light of Zion. Hallelujah.
Khan, Shalom. This is Captain Zamar, LOZ, Lee County. Hallelujah.
All praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Captain Kyram from the Light of Zion. All praises.
Shalom, shalom. This is Officer Obadiah from Lee County. Shalom to the house of Israel. All praise to the house of Shah.
Shalom, this is Officer Nathaniel from the Light of Zion. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High. This is Officer Asher from the Light of Zion. Khan.
All praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the Most High through his son Yahweh Shai. We give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High through his son Yahweh Shai. So you see what's going on. I know everybody been seeing. We talked about it last week about Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is bringing out the truth, man. Right? He's bringing out the truth to these wicked Edomite devils, right? These Amalekite devils, right? These Ashkenazi devils, right? So we have he sat down with this Edomite Lex Friedman. And it's a pretty good interview, man. So we're just gonna go through it, through the spirit, whatever precepts the viewing audience have, put it in the chat, but we're gonna really dissect this thing, man. All praise to the Most High. We in the age of information, and the Most High is really pushing this truth, right? And he's using Kanye West as a vessel, man, to get this word out there, right? So all praise to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we're gonna start at the Captain Zamar, did you want me to try to look at? You said around the 3:30. You want me to kind of see what's up on there around that mark?
Yeah, there was a comment when I was watching it earlier, or there was like a bit of a, I wouldn't say it was so much of a back and forth, but there were some things that were coming out around a 3-minute and 30-minute or 40-minute mark that were significant. I think it would be worthy of checking out.
All right, let me see. I'll just start over here. Fair use in the chat. Fair use in the chat.
Fair use. Fair
use. All praises.
What's the hardest thing in front of you on the engineering front?
That's the first sentence that any of our species needs to hear when they're born. You are a human being with engineering challenges, and I consider challenges to be opportunities in front of you.
Yeah.
Literally, like, let me see a piece of paper. I need to write that down. That's the beginning of our new species constitution. I'm gonna do the paper like this wide. I'll put it in widescreen. This for Ridley. You are you are a being with
I think Salakia, there may be some timestamps in the comments. If there's one that talks about the Holocaust, click that one. He talks a lot about what's going on with black people.
Yeah. I wanted to start there. I just want to see if there was something that
as we become more technologically savvy.
Salakia for the if there's kids watching the video, there is some profanity, right? But it's edification for the nation nonetheless.
That, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We're still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said, go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
See,
out the gate, snap.
Out the gate.
Oh man.
Yeah, talk to them. Talk to them, yeah. Talk to them, yeah.
You You can't tell me he's not learning from some camps.
Come on, man.
You can't tell me because
That sounds crazy, man. Wow.
That response sounds straight out of a camp video.
Right. All praise
All they needed was somebody in the background to say, "That's right." That's all they needed.
God, man.
That's all they needed.
Like it kind of sounded like one of our camp videos, man. When the Amalekite came up to you, Cap, when you was teaching one night. I don't know if you remember.
When I was teaching.
Yeah, Con. You know,
the Holocaust survivor, the hologram, Salakia, the hologram,
the hologram,
the hologram. Right, Con, that's real. That's real. See, the brother knows what's going on. What he's trying to say, and before we jump into it, right? He's just trying to illustrate that there is a continuous genocide with our people, right? That's all he's trying to bring out. He's articulating the best he can, but he's telling yo, we still going through that today, man. Right? But we're gonna keep playing because it's a lot. It's a lot.
With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union.
I want to just say this right now. This man is the biggest devil I've ever. I know that's vocab alone. That's a devil. I know we got these other Christians that's a devil, but this man is on a different level.
He's a legion of demons.
He's a legion of demons. He's the slithering serpent.
Good.
He's the red dragon that the Salakia.
Oh,
can we
man.
open up the book of Colossians 3:17?
I got you.
Bible Kushab, Mosai willing.
I got you.
Book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 17.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3, and verse 17.
Right.
And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Other One Yahushai, giving thanks to the Other One and the Father by him.
Right. Give me Salaki. Can I Bible Kushab, Officer Asher, give me the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, Bible Kushab. The book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, because this man is a devil, right? This is that slithering serpent, right? This is that beast that the scriptures talk about, that brute beast, right? These are one of the descendants of the tabernacles of Edom and the crafty council, right? That's who this guy is. Right? Give me the book of Revelation 12 and 9, Baba.
This is the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 9.
Right.
And the great dragon was
and the what?
And the great dragon.
This is a great dragon. You see that the publicity he has, the viewership he has. I haven't heard of him until this video came out, right? But you know how YouTube pushes, the 13th tribe folks. Right? But this man is that great dragon. Keep going.
And the great dragon was cast out.
Right.
That old serpent.
Right.
Called the devil.
What is he called?
Called the devil.
No, Lex Friedman.
Called the devil.
Right.
And Satan.
Right.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
That's all he's going to do this entire interview. Right. To perpetuate that deception. Right. This is the deceiver. This is the deceiver. Right. The devil, the Satan. All right, keep going on that, man.
I'm Jewish.
Oh man,
I'm Jewish.
You already know he going with that. When he said that, I'm Jewish.
What tribe? All right, what tribe? Now I want you to remember that he states his ethnicity, quote unquote, because that's going to play a part in the continuation of the video, right? Why he's stating his nationality, right?
Parts of my family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was gonna say,
hold. What Kanye is saying? You know what I'm saying? He said we talking about our Holocaust, and he's saying there's a difference in atrocities there, right? So he's saying the Holocaust matters more than all of the babies that are aborted or Planned Parenthood, right? That goes against or that practices against the children of Israel. All right. Kanye's speaking some truth right now, man. And this man's going to show his true colors that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. But Kanye, go ahead,
Come.
say the number. That's the difference.
It's not the number.
Because 6 million will also, African Americans are actually Jew also.
I want to kind of point something out, right? Because why he said the 6 million, because when you look at statistics, they generally come to the conclusion that 6 million people was the amount of Ish people, right? The 13th tribe people that died during the Holocaust. 6 million people, right? Now, if you look at what the death toll was for the indigenous people that was on this land, right? Right? The death toll of the Native Americans, right?
Consulat, can y'all hear me now?
So like, I can hear you.
No, we
You
can
was
hear you.
bring something
Chill
up?
out.
All praises, Salaki.
Con, right? If you look up
I
the
got a
death toll,
preset.
Con, if you look up the death toll of the Native Americans, there's sources that show that's over two, Slakia, 12 million Native
That's
Americans that died.
that's
And that's just including that's just talking about the Native Americans, the indigenous Americans of the land, right? That's not going into Hispanics. That's not going into so-called African Americans, right? So for him to try to say the numerical value is what makes the whole "I'm the champion of the oppression Olympics," that's not the case at all. Because you look at the numbers on the 12 tribes, we outnumber him times 12, right? So, Con.
and also you have to take and consider how many years those atrocities happened. For the World War II, I don't think it was only a short period of time, like 5-6 years compared to slavery, which was 400 years and still continuing today. And he decides to try to brush that off. Is saying, oh, 6 million has died within this certain period of time.
I got a
It's
precept.
gone.
Can somebody get what is it? Judges chapter 19 and verse 30, Baba Kusha?
I'll get it. Judges. What was it again? Salah?
Chapter 19 and verse 30.
Khan got it. This is the book of Judges, chapter 19 and verse 30. And it was so that all that saw it said, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds.
So it hasn't been seen the atrocities that have been done to the children of Israel, starting from the slavery 400 years of slavery, hard bondage in Egypt, right up until the point where we came to all of these. We were scattered across the four corners of the earth, and we were put under bondage for another 400 years. It hasn't happened. There's nothing that's comparable to what's happened to our people. They like to try to throw that Holocaust in there, that short little vacation that they had, right? Or out Salakia, hologram, Salakia. They try to throw the hologram in there and try to make it compare to what's been done to the children of Israel, but it's not. It's something you can't compare. You got maybe a decade compared to hundreds of years, a few centuries. You can't
Right,
compare the two,
man.
right? And it, you had
Con, I had a
you had things like the gas chambers, and you had things of that nature. They were burning burning us alive. They were cutting our women open, taking the babies out of their stomach, using our children as gator bait. They were sodomizing our men, raping our women, right? I mean, you can't even compare. You just can't compare the two things that happen. So for them to
Right.
try to take that and set it next to what we've been through is asinine. It's just asinine.
Precept.
con, I had a precept too.
I got a
Um,
precept.
the,
No,
Go ahead.
oh,
precept too.
okay.
Go ahead.
Con, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 12. And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges, and that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. And that's plain upon tables. Under the whole heavens, nothing's been done like that has been done to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American man and woman and child.
Con, it doesn't even compare. Nothing compares to that, man. All right, but they try to make it seem like the Holocaust was so bad. All right, what Kanye's talking about is some real stuff. All right, Obadiah, you say you had a precept?
That was it right there.
That was my doing. That's hallelujah.
Salakia, I wanted to pull something up right quick. Salakia. Just about that death toll. See if I can pull it up.
I don't understand. I don't know how somebody could say, but Salat, this is for people. Just like how that dude was just speaking, he was speaking out of ignorance, and he just did not care about what happened to the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. To say that he think that the atrocities that happened to Jake doesn't equate to what his people been through, quote unquote, is just bewildering. Like how I'm surprised Kanye stayed so calm in the situation and not blow up about him even saying that. Like, come
That's a good point, Ak, because when you having conversations and you're engaged in a conversation or a debate with someone that's opposing your views and trying to diminish the pain that we've been through as a people, it's infuriating. It's very difficult to compose yourself, when you're having these type of conversations and they just spewing out a bunch of lies and trying
right,
to, like I said, minimize the pain that we've gone through as a people.
come
And also, I mean, Kanye handled it very well too, man. Because they probably want to see him blow up, just so they can, post something about him or look at him now. He's the angry black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they definitely would call him crazy then, man. So
Khan, I
he handled
believe
it well.
Salaki, go ahead.
No,
It,
that's it.
it's it seems like it's pretty apparent that the brother has been watching camps, because what he's saying is definitely what you hear, a lot of us camps say,
right.
and a lot of people talk against camps like we're wrong or whatever they want to say about us. But guess what? We getting the word out there. All
All
praises to the Most High.
come all praise to the Most High.
And can I get the book of Baruch chapter 2 verse 2? I know your brothers already brought it out. I wanted to just pull that again, just for the sake of the scripture.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Right?
Salat, my bad. 2 verse 2. To bring upon us great plagues, such never happened never as
Read that
Salat.
again. Read that again.
To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven,
Right?
as
This Salakia. Like Officer Nathan was bringing it out, right? Such as never happened under the whole heaven, right? He wants to try to say, I gotta push back on that. I gotta push back on that, right? So he could push back on what we're saying with no repercussions, right? But when we push back on what he's saying, then we're the one that's anti-Semitic, right? I wanted to just, show this quick insert about it's this book.
the great stain.
No, not the Great Saint. It's actually a book called Columbus and the Conquest of the New World.
Oh, come.
The American Holocaust by David E. Stannard, right? He's a professor at a university, right? Completely separate from what he doesn't know what we teach, right? So the point I'm bringing that out is because it's an unbiased record, right?
Right.
It's just going to go into the account of how many Israelites, right? We already know there's about 12 million that's been pretty much killed from the indigenous people, the Native Americans, the Mosquito Indians, and these different tribes, the Trail of Tears. You talk about the Trail of Tears, right? Let's look what it says about the so-called quote unquote African Americans, right? I'll start right here. Try to pull it up. It says, um, additionally, within the framework of the Holocaust itself, there were aspects that were unique in the campaign of genocide conducted by the Nazis against Europe's Romani gypsy people, which resulted in the mass murder of perhaps 1,500,000 men, women, and children. Of course, there also were the unique horrors of the African slave trade, during the course of which at least 30 million and possibly and as many I'm reading that number right? I'm reading that number right. That's 30 million, which at least 30 million and possibly as many as 40 million to 60 million Africans were killed. So you talk about most of them in the prime of their lives before they even had a chance to begin working as human chattel on plantations in the Indies and the Americas, right? And finally, there is a unique subject on this book: the total extermination of many American Indian peoples and the near extermination of others, in numbers that eventually totaled close to 100 million, right? So this is so the whole doctrine of the 6 million people. Come on, man. Right? You want to talk about an ethnic cleansing, a genocide, population control, like they call it? They was doing that to our people from the jump, man.
6 million is a splash in the pan in comparison to over 100 million. That's nothing.
It's crazy, man. Come on, let's keep going on that.
The lost tribe of
I can
Israel.
push back on that too.
Okay, so
as we become more technologically savvy, that, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We are still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said, come go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Parts of my family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was going to say the number. That's the difference.
It's not the number.
Because 6 million, well, also, African Americans are actually Jew also. The lost tribe of
I can
Israel.
push back on that too.
Okay, so, well, everyone came from Africa.
I am African. I'm basically African American.
All right, so he's pushing back when he said we are Jews also. But he could sit there and say, well, I'm basically African. The hypocrisy in this man.
Okay.
That's the part that triggered me right there.
Yo, the hypocrisy is crazy. Well, it's debatable, it's skeptical, it's a theory, right, to identify yourself as a Jew. But I'm gonna sit here and say, well, but I'm basically African. Come on, bro.
And he's saying that he was raised in Nazi Germany. Well, we're raised in Nazi America, right?
Right.
And if you're an African American, why don't they call you that? Because African American is relegated to a color, not where you're from. And that's verification right there. Because he says, so I don't want to hear that crap. But that statement right there triggered me. I would have went over the counter on him.
I'm telling you, I know vengeance is the Lord.
Of course,
but that Most High's battle axe. Right?
That day, the Most High would have put that boy in my hands. He would have been finished that day. The lion would have roared that day, bro. Sitting across that table, it would have been a bad scene, man. A very bad scene for this man to just flat out just disregard everything Kanye is saying. I gotta push back on that we not the real Jews.
Con, all praise,
Lex,
but
I gotta
we don't condone any violence. It's just
right.
it's just an emotion. We get, because we go through it all the time. We get people get in our face, and they say statements that trigger us. But all praise to the Most High. We keep our composure, and like the captain said, vengeance is mine, says the Most High. So we know better. We know better. But that feeling, you can't. It's an undeniable feeling.
Con, can I get the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, Baba Gashar? It's a classic, man, because it's funny because the whole thing about what Ye's bringing out is he's talking about how there are certain people in power that happen to be from the 13th tribe that is controlling the media.
Got it.
This man has over 2 million followers on YouTube, right? I'm not saying he's controlling the media, but isn't it ironic that the same person that he's talking about that has an influence in the media is the same person that he's talking to?
Con.
Right? This man has over 2 million followers on YouTube, and I've never heard of him.
That's right.
Right? I mean, I know a lot of brothers and sisters with podcasts. How come they not going up?
Right.
Right? What does he be talking about?
And that have way more substance and more flavor.
Content.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's speaking a monotone geometry teacher.
Right. Right.
Voice, man.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I got that precept for you.
We got to break that down. Psalm 55 and 21, right?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
Right.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Right. He said, all right, friend, right? You're my brother. We're all on one race. We're all blood. Right. You notice throughout this whole interview, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, we can take him down together. Right. That's the spirit that he has on him, that slithering. Right. You know, there's some snakes that can camouflage, right? They know how to hide within different environments and different surroundings, and they catch you when you're not looking. Right? They catch you slipping. This is the type of snake he is, right? Not all snakes are the same. You got some snakes that you can notice. You know what I'm saying? You got some snakes that's identifiable. But these type of snakes right here, these are the type of snakes that's gonna catch you slipping, man.
Hey, Cap,
Right?
That's a covert snake right there.
Yeah.
Covert snake. Cap,
you heard how he started out? Smooth, like with all due respect.
Right, with all due respect, nigga. Right?
Oh man, that's
you know that's what he. With all due respect, Kanye. With all due respect, and right now he's come on, man. With all due respect, and then disrespect what you just said.
Right.
Come on, Slucky. Finish that out, King.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Right.
But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil.
With all due respect.
His words were softer than oil.
Right.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Say something about the JM that he called it, the Jewish media again. Say something about that again. I bet you won't leave the studio.
Oh man.
That's what Lex Friedman. That's what Friedman. Right. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying in his heart. Right. The most wicked in all the earth, like the Apocrypha talks about. All right. Let me keep going on that.
We're brothers.
And we're both Jew. And we're brothers. So
we're human.
See, he laughed at the thought that they could both be Jews.
Right.
He laughs at it.
He tries to throw that to the side every time. He will not accept that in no way, shape, or form. And he laughs at it and scoffs at it. Damn devil. But I like the way Kanye holds his own and he keeps pressing the issue. I respect that.
6 million people died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million have died by the hands of abortion.
Talk about it. And
the media promotes the My Body, My Choice, which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not Black on Black violence and gang violence. It's not heart attacks. It's actually abortion. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
There's 900 to 1 million abortions in the United States a year. I hear you. But there's something about the rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
Hold on, big dog, big homie. What is going on? This is crazy. The fact that he said that, he was like, I agree. But
But
disregarding everything he said. When you say but after everything you said, you're null and voiding everything before you just said. You're saying I agree, but you're saying something else. That the fact that people were raped, men were raped, killed, and slaughtered is worse than abortion. These are potential lives that could have been great people one day, but were snuffed out early.
But see, here's the thing. He's really truly telling our story. Like what they went through, we went through that and more. And we're still going. And I think that's Kanye's point. Because he even goes
Con,
at a point in the video, he's saying, let's forget about the past, right? To say, okay, let's stop comparing the past. What are y'all going through today versus what we're going through today? We're still going through it. So y'all can't compare to what we're going through. And I think that's his point for saying forget the past. Not to say that what we went through doesn't matter. He's just trying to really truly even the playing field, because they'll try to make it seem like they went through more, right? But they're not going through it now, but we still are. So that's what
right.
the point he's trying to make.
And Salak too, by the way. They're actually getting paid for the quote unquote atrocities that happen to them. They're getting a check every month, a nice little pretty check every month. But what about the
Con,
so-called black man, the black Hispanic and Native American man? Where's his paycheck in the end? Where is his little here, sorry for what we did to y'all. Sorry for this. Sorry for cutting the skin off your foremothers and forefathers and used them as boots. Oh, sorry that we threw your great great grandmother in a lake while she was a child. Oh, sorry for raping your grandmother and her husband had to watch the whole time. Oh, we're sorry for that. They have not given us anything except liquor, Christianity, and weed. That's all we
con,
were given. Everything to distract us from what's really happening in this world, from finding out the truth. Everything you see is a distraction. But this man right here is getting broken off by Germany, who is still paying them till this day, living their best life. I yield. I yield, man.
Colin, I'm glad that you mentioned Officer Asher about the book The Great Stain, right?
Con.
And it's a very powerful book, and he's talking about the rape and the robbing and murdering as if we're a stranger to that, right?
Right.
And I wanted to pull another excerpt um, from the book. I'm going to pull it up. Let me see here if I can pull it up. Most I willing. 1 second. If I want. Let's see. All right, Con, I'm gonna look for it. We can keep going on that. But yeah, I'm just gonna read it. It's from the book called The Great Stain. Okay. I want to pull it up, Salak. I want to pull it up, Salak. Kyle, can I get? Let me just get a precept while I look for that. Can I get the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10?
Con. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
You already know Kanye understands that. He understands this concept of not trusting our enemy, right? Because to not trust our enemy, that means we know who our enemy is. I understand. I will give it to Kanye that I know he knows who his enemy is. He works with his enemy,
Right.
right? He collaborates with his enemy. He has to live peaceably with his enemy at the end of the day, right? But the thing is, he knows who his enemy is, right? He knows at any given time they could just switch up on him, right? Like Cap said, they're covert snakes, right? So he definitely understands that. Keep going.
For like as an iron rusteth,
Right.
so is his wickedness.
As
Though
as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right. You talk about erosion. That's something that happens gradually over time.
it's
And
worse.
you can't reverse. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if scientists, but
Nah,
you can't reverse erosion. Is that an accurate statement to say?
Kanye, you can say
Con,
that.
that's correct.
You can't reverse it. It's going to be continual until it has taken up that entire instrument, whatever the case may be. Right? That's not something that you can reverse. That's the same thing with these Edomites, man. You're going to notice that these people, they have that continuous erosion, right? That internal erosion that's going to come out eventually. They're going to show their horns eventually, right? Keep going on that.
Kanye, though he humble himself and go crouching,
What does that mean? Though he humble himself. With all due respect, we're
but
Right.
brothers. We're all one
Con.
race, the human race. We're gonna say we're brothers. We're all one race in the human race. But at the beginning of that entire topic, he's talking about how he's saying I'm Jewish, right?
Right. When Kanye says he's a Jew too, I got to push back on that.
I got to push back on that.
But I thought we were all one race. What happened?
dog.
Right,
Mm.
right. I'm trying to pull it up so like let's just keep the video going. Keep going.
That's what
It's
we deal with
unscare.
on our TVs right now with black people. Soros would use black trauma economy to win an election.
Mm.
What I love is having a healthy conversation. And as opposed to there's certain things, boom, this drops, people gonna have pussy hats on. Boom, this drops, it's gonna be, black people and white people with signs. Boom, this drops. So hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're gonna do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation.
Can I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds
you're
an
saying
entire.
you're saying it's redundant, right?
No, I'm not saying it's redundant. I'm
saying it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
It's a redundant
I'm saying
statement.
it's something
the
that
same thing.
I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany, said. I'm saying it's been said so many times in order to murder and torture.
So what he's trying to say is that when he uses the term Jewish media, it's pretty much synonymous with saying, or what he's saying, subliminal. It's a subliminal way
Subliminally.
of right, right. It's a subliminal way of saying that. Well, yes, there's Jewish media, and that same Jewish media is the same people that was used during World War II to perpetuate the hate towards the 13th tribe people. So he's saying for you to say that, it's evoking that same sentiment. When that's not, I don't
Right.
think that's not where he's coming from, right? He's
No.
not saying that maliciously. He's saying that off of the reality. See, Lex, I don't know what his background is, but he's not in the music industry like Kanye is. So if anybody knows how that industry works, how that music industry works, the people that's in charge, I would think Kanye would know about a little something, right? So he's not just saying it just to say it. He's saying it because he's experienced it. He's around these people that are making these different plays, right? But he's trying to flip it to make it seem like he's saying that with evil intent, as if he's some somebody like in World War II trying to perpetuate hate towards the 13th tribe people. That's not what he's saying. He's just stating a fact, you know.
And this
But
is how they try to
yeah,
say that it evokes violence, right? They try to say that when you're being speaking in quote unquote anti-Semitic terms or language, that it's evoking violence, right? But when have we seen any violence, right? When you look at the history, right, of our people versus the little hats, right, or Esau as a whole, they were unprovoked, right, and they've committed violence towards us for centuries, right, but you haven't seen this behavior from us towards them. And if it was provoked. But you haven't seen this behavior. It's not something that's natural to us to behave this way, but it's natural to them. So for them to say that anything that we say, which is actually the truth in regards to what they've done, and what, history is factual, right? So whatever we say in regards to history in how they've dealt with us is a fact. So for us to speak truthfully according to fact, and for them to say it's anti-Semitic, right, and that it promotes violence, that's hypocritical to say because it's not true.
That's right.
And
Con,
so,
another thing. Oh, sorry.
oh,
No, I was just gonna say another thing too. They've evoked so much violence that they create peace treaties just for that. You
Right.
know, and another thing too is that why is he talking about that creating violence, like the Jewish media word is creating violence, when we have a whole culture or hip hop culture around our music is evoking violence all the time, and it's promoted through the Jewish media. The Jewish media tells these rappers what to do and what to say and how to say it, and most of the time they won't let certain music go through the doors because it doesn't evoke as much violence, or it doesn't talk about
Uh-uh.
the degradation of our people.
Con.
and Salak, I wanted to address what Kanye was saying about Jewish people owning the media. So I just looked up who owns NBC, and it came up to a guy named David Saranoff. He's actually come to find out he's from Russia and he's a Jew himself. He's claimed to be Jewish himself. So with what Kanye is saying, he's oh sorry.
The sound is kind of chopping up a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, the Matrix, huh?
Can you hear me now?
Con.
Con. So basically what Kanye's saying, he's speaking facts right now. And this man is trying to ignorantly try to fight against what he's saying rather than um counter counter him with facts about what he's saying. I'll just yield with that.
Con. And I want to just to let me back on what Cap was saying. When we speak the truth to them, it's hate speech, right? To them, we now have become their enemy. We know what the scriptures say about that, right? Let me get the book of Galatians, right? Book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse um, verse 16. Galatians chapter 4,
Con.
verse 16.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 16.
Right?
Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Right? Now Ye's become the enemy of all these brand ambassadors, right? Of Adidas, of Balenciaga. He's the enemy of all these different sponsorships and contracts that he was connected with. Now he's an enemy of those people just by teaching the truth, right? Just by telling it what it is. That the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's hate speech in itself. That whole title, that whole statement is hate speech in itself, right? The 13th tribe people, they get triggered off of that. They can't imagine, they can't fathom that. To see that we are God's chosen people, that the Most High chose us, and he establishes a covenant with us. He establishes a covenant with Jada Youngin, right? He establishes covenant with Young and Ace, right? They look at us and say, "Oh, y'all just niggas," but we are the one. We are the children of the promise, and they hate that, right? Let me get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 19, Baba Gashah. If anybody can bring that out for me. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 19. Because at the end of the day, the Most High, anything that's not rooted by the Most High shall be rooted up, man. And these people will be exposed. The Christian churches, they were getting exposed, right? Now the light is being shined on these 13th tribe people, right? Let me get that Jeremiah 16 and 19, Baba Gashah.
Khan, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 19.
Right?
O Most High, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies.
Surely, right? Surely they have inherited lies. They have inherited vanity, right? Surely their fathers have inherited lies. Keep going.
Vanity and
Uh
things
huh.
wherein there is no profit.
This is not going to profit them, right? Wearing that little what they call that on their head, right? The
Yarmulke,
yarmulke, right? The yarmulke, right? The cup holster, whatever that is,
which is
right?
not in the Bible, by
Right,
the
which
way.
is not in the scriptures, right? It's probably in they. It's probably in their. They got the rabbi oral traditions,
Hmm.
right? But the point still stands. That's a tradition of men, not a commandment
They
of the
got
Most High,
oral circumcisions too.
right? Oh, let's bring that out,
Oh,
right?
talk about it.
Talk about that, right? You talk about not to go on a tangent. When you talk about the Buffalo shooter, right? When he did that, what did he call it? A manifesto, right? In that manifesto, he starts to expose the doctrines and the philosophies and the customs and the culture of these 13 tribe people, right? I think I still have the document. But when you read it, he goes into the different things that are referenced in those books, saying that you can be with underage, right? These 13 tribes, they could be with underage women, right? The things that are in these different books, that's what these people subscribe to, right? So you see, these people, they have inherited lies. They have inherited lies, man. Come on, let me keep going on that.
Jewish people that
I
it
would,
just rings wrong.
and that's the
Just
thing.
like the N word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me, it reminds people of a very dark time.
I know if Jewish people,
I mean, I don't know, man. He's saying that there's an equivalence between saying Jewish media. When you say Jewish media, that that basically brings you back to World War II, the gas chambers, and things like that. When you state something like that, that's as equivalent to when you say nigga. That reminds you of slavery, and he's saying there's a correlation there. There's an equivalence there. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I don't see the correlation, right? I don't see the correlation there.
would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people you saying you're Jewish, that
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish.
Jew.
Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
Hold on, let me run that back.
Burn it.
Let me run it back for
Run
the
it,
people.
run it back. This man
Hallelujah.
knows
Let's go.
something, bro.
Let
To
me run
be
it back.
cool,
'Cause
run
They
it
might,
back.
they
Like
might
that.
have heard
Oh,
that.
he's learning.
Oh, he got to be
Get this
learning
man
from
a
somebody.
garment.
Yeah.
And
For
that's the
real.
thing.
Just like-
Garment.
We say
Get-
that. I mean, that sounds like Priest Kahan esque,
Yeah.
right? That's straight from Priest Kahan's playbook,
That's right.
right? All praise to the Most High for our powerful elder, wise elder, right? But that's straight out of the playbook. Next, thing you know, he's gonna say, if you don't know where you came from, how you know where you going, right? This man's spitting right now.
like the N word
Let's
when
go.
spoken by people that have the same skin color as me, it reminds people of a very dark time.
I know if Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people you saying you're Jewish, that
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish.
Jew.
Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
you're Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from
Christian.
right. But are you
Look,
are you a
confounded.
follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from.
Listen,
Not
he has
all
to be
of those.
strategical. He has to be strategical about it. That's the thing.
Right.
Like he knows that the things
You saw his face?
yes, that he's spitting is just is straight Israelite moves, like words or saying that we say on the street.
All right, you could run that back out.
He couldn't handle it. This man could not handle it. He was going into system overload, reloading, loading. His face had a loading screen out.
This is I just want to read this book of Proverbs chapter 10, verse 14 in the Living Bible.
Okay.
It says, "A wise man holds his tongue. Only a fool blurts out everything he knows." Right? So he already knew what time it was. He already knew what time it was. But come, we gotta run that back.
Orthodox
Comes from
Christian.
right. But that
Oh, select.
are you?
Then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people you saying you're Jewish. That
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish.
Jew.
Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from
Christian.
right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes, and then tell you what it is. What the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
See what Kanye was doing right now. He tried to hit him with a okie doke, and he just hit him with it between the legs, behind the back, right? Shimmy, spin off. He's not
Jelly layup.
right? Jelly layup, right? He's not even dealing with it, right? He's going around that. He don't gotta say he subscribes to it,
Right.
What's that gonna change? All right, what's that gonna change? Oh, now Kanye is connected to the Black Hebrew Israelite extremists, the Black Hebrew Israelites. This is where he's getting his doctrine from, right? That's where you wanted to go with it? Come on, man.
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
and
human.
I said, and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point, right?
You had pain.
Yeah, but
no one pain in your heart.
But let's say this. Undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time, and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect. If we're Jew, and since we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed. Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music and hear Black people say, we kings, we blood of the pharaohs. And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed. And when we talk about, have you heard Black people talk about 400 years of slavery? Mm-hmm. All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it, and at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it and we need to move forward.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history, even the 20th century. Look at this communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea, except that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that killed 50, 100 plus million people, not just killed, tortured, starvation, where people, the cannibalism, they ate each other, they ate their children. There's just dark people should read some books on this, on the Holodomor in the 1930s.
But I disagree.
With that lesson, we would, and now it's becoming more popular. Marxism and communism.
I'm not disagreeing that happened. I'm disagreeing that we need to harp on the things that happen, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact: 50% today of, let's say, you don't call black people Jew, right? Black people's deaths today is abortion today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's genocide and population control that black people are in today in America, that is promoted by the music and the media that black people make, that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media companies. Record labels and media company also, so let's give it a wider.
I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too.
Martin Luther King,
one day you would not be judged by the color of your skin or your race, black.
Was somebody trying to say something?
I think that was Kanye actually, or maybe it was somebody. I don't know.
Oh, God, I thought it was a brother trying to say something about Martin Luther King.
One thing is for sure is that we definitely got to put some respect on Kanye's name after this.
For real, man.
You look at all the rappers and entertainers who have come out and said that they are Hebrews or are Israelites or are Jews. They not speaking up like Kanye. Kanye ready to give it up. He's going into detail, not just broadly saying I'm a Hebrew, but he's going into detail on why he believes we're Hebrews and the things that happen to us. He putting the atrocities on the forefront, So respect to this brother, right? Where is Kendrick Lamar? Where is Kodak Black?
Oh,
right. Where is Amari Stoudemire?
Oh,
right. Where's Deshaun Jackson?
Oh, brother.
Right. Where are all these people that continue to say they're Hebrews, but they're not letting the people know? Kanye said, I'm ready to give this up right now for my people. I don't think people understand how serious this is, man.
And then like a cat. You know how crazy it would be if you see how powerful it would be. We see how Adidas, Balenciaga, Amalek and his people, man, how they it would be so powerful if a lot of these big name celebrities would start backing the brother up, man. You know what I'm saying? That'll be powerful, man, for our people to see right now. But they scared, they too afraid.
I think what we need to do, Salakia, I think what we need to do is we need to start our own campaign. We don't have to wait for the celebrities, because honestly, when you look at it, the celebrities didn't start waking up until we woke them up. So if we start it, right? Because really it's about us, the smaller people, right? Well, if we start it, then they're going to follow suit. So I think it's on us to band together as Israelites, right? To support this man. We can start posting things on social media. We stand with Kanye. We can start boycotting Balenciaga, Adidas, and all of these different, the Gap, all these different companies that treated him bad, right? Because he's telling the truth. We need to back him as a whole, as a family, because that's what the scriptures say. Right, we can't stand against the blood of our brother, even though they're not killing him. They're trying to castrate this man. They're trying to emasculate this man and do everything else they can. do to destroy him in the public, to make him an example, just like they used to do with buck breaking. Right now, he's the strongest Israelite monetarily, in the U.S. And they are buck breaking him in front of everybody to use him as an example to make everybody else say, you know what, I don't want that. But we can't stand by. We can't stand by against the blood of our brother and allow this to happen. We have to be there for him. That's what we need to do.
Con. That's right.
Come.
Or Jew, but by the content of your character. All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews. Can you?
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human with opportunities, and they.
You see the hypocrisy in this man at the beginning of this timestamp. He's talking about how I'm Jewish. Now he wants to separate. He wants to identify himself as Jewish, but now when it comes to him identifying who these people are in power, he's saying no. You have to separate them from them being Jewish. They're people with opportunities now. He's separating it now as if he didn't just identify himself as the person, as a Jewish person. He's not separating himself.
He's trying to be very slick with his words. He's
Right.
trying to make. He's trying to make Kanye to what's the right word?
Kind of slip up in his speech.
Yeah. Trying to catch him with his own words.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to make him you like you said. Let's continue.
Took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you should release your pain and separate it, and we could get to the list of how you are being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm gonna let it go. Engineering challenges, I get it. One of the problems you highlight is people get fucked over in the music industry, and get fucked over in the media, get fucked over all over the place.
They created. There was a Jewish trainer that brought me to the hospital and put in press that I went to the hospital. I know friends that off of exhaustion, a Jewish doctor, they diagnosed
Why do you keep saying Jewish?
Because they were, right? Diagnosed me with bipolar disorder and shot me with medication and put me on medication, then put it in the press. And every time, even if I wore the wrong color hat that a nigger is not supposed to wear, right? Then they immediately say he's off of his shit, he's off his meds, he's off his rocker, and it's literally used as a scarlet letter control mechanism for the people. Understand, the kids, the colleges, the high schools. What do you think they put me right now? They put me as the prophet, not the leader. It doesn't have to be the leader, right? Because we need a more intelligent person to be the leader, but at least, right? They put me as the prophet. They put me as the only person that would say this. And I'm just saying that was 4 Jewish members that controlled my voice, because for the fact that 90% of Black people in entertainment, from sports to music to act.
Pause it. Did you, I hope everybody caught what he said. He said, I'm the prophet, I'm not the leader. What he was saying in that moment was that I'm the one that's going to start the conversation. I don't have all of the knowledge, right? But he knows there are brothers that, such as ourselves and all these other camps out there, that can lead, because we can teach according to knowledge. He knows he doesn't have all the knowledge, but he knows he has the platform to be able to speak this message and to get the conversation started. That's what he was saying at that moment. Kanye's not an idiot. He's very smart with his approach and how he's saying what he's saying. He's not an idiot.
Oh, that's right.
Acting are in some way tied into Jewish business people, meaning that in some way, just like if Rom is sitting next to Obama or Jared sitting next to Trump, there's a Jewish person right there controlling the country, the Jewish people controlling that who gets the best video or not, controlling what the media says about
It's a
me.
person, not Jewish. Let me just say one thing.
But they are, though. That's the only thing. It just so happens that they are. It just so
You
happens that they are.
saying
That
that's
doesn't mean that I hate them.
Yes,
that
yes,
just
yes.
means that they are.
But it's a dog whistle. Two, let me just say, as I would love.
He just clarified it to the man. Like, I'm just telling you, these people that's in charge, that's making all these moves, they're Jewish. I'm not telling you I hate them. He's saying yes, it is. I mean, even if this dude's point is that people may interpret that and it may resonate or it may have the connotation of that. You know, from here clarifying it, that is not what he's saying, and that's not his intentions. But you still want to correct him due to some people's interpretation of something that he's not even actually saying. He's literally not saying that he hates them. He's saying that he doesn't. But you still want to kind of say, well, saying that, even though you don't mean that, people still might take it as you mean it that way.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and he's just trying to find just something to rebuke him for, in a way. You know what I'm saying? And he's literally clarifying it for the dude, but he just wants to find that clickbait. He wants him to say it. And he already broke it down. He doesn't hate them.
Love to add more love to the world. I would love you to do that as a person with a big voice, with a big, powerful voice that a lot of people look up to. And when you say Jewish media, it's funny how this world works that way. When you say Jewish media or Jews are controlling the voice of Black artists, Black people, Black artists, when you say that,
am I not allowed to say it out loud?
You can say it. There's a large number of people that are hurting and have anger and even have hate in their heart when they hear Jewish media. That hate starts being directed towards the Jewish people. Do you acknowledge that? Do you understand? Can you feel the hate in the world? That's when that comes to the surface when you say stuff like that.
Okay, I feel that when we go into therapy, my dad was a therapist, and obviously I've got some therapy skills myself. A lot of people, my music is healing. These type of spa-like existences are healing. The color palettes I use are healing, and we can use healing words, right? What I really feel I feel that there's no accountability and no responsibility on Jewish people in media to at least start with owning up with the facts of what's dealt with and tell me if I say the facts out loud, to the point of Ari Emanuel writing a letter in the Financial Times trying to take food out of my children's mouth, telling people that they're not allowed to work with me. Even Chris Como or Pierce Morgan getting me to apologize and separate Jewish business people from the families of the Jewish business people, which I did. Update. I did that. That already happened. And that was
a shitty apology. That wasn't really an apology. But shout out for that conversation.
I need to get on my knees and kiss the dick of Howard Stern. And
you don't need to kiss anyone's dick.
Hey, yo, pause, man. Come on, yeah, come on. Pause. See, yo, and just with anything, we gotta pick out the bones. Pause, man.
Big fire.
Come on. Fire.
Fire, fish.
Right?
Fish for that.
Puffer.
Right? Salmon.
And,
Almond.
you keep going on that, man. Let's get through this.
But that's what you guys are acting like.
You guys, look at that.
Because you're talking about it's a shitty opinion, apology. But where's our fucking apology? Watch this.
Sorry.
We don't get. Thank you. Now done. Let's move on.
Sorry. Do I need to get on my knees or no?
And kiss my dick.
Oh shit.
So
this escalated quickly.
Pause again.
So that's escalated quickly.
I thought he was going to kiss his boob.
What?
No, I'm saying where's our apology? But right, we can't get to apology because you're telling me there's no right way for me to word it. So tell me for me, a person who's been fucked on my deals and a person that has friends that never figured out how to make shoes with a German company that couldn't tell me to wear a BLM shirt and take off my red hat, like what would have happened if I was at Nike, right? Tell me exactly how to engineer the situation
I'll
I'm
tell
in.
you exactly how. You got a big voice. Have the balls as a man to call out the individuals. Don't call them Jews. Call them by their name and start a war against those individuals. They're not Jewish.
But if that's the case, will you help me with that?
Sure.
Okay.
100%. Assholes are well, let me flip that too. I don't understand the industry well. I see that people are fucking people over for sure. But how do you solve that? If you right now run the world's you're doing a million things, but say you ran also a record label.
I have ran a record label. Well, I've been ran by a record label where I was the face of a record label and had Big Sean and different people complaining to me. And I knew fuck about running a record label. I was simply just a talented producer and an influencer that then started good music, but I wasn't the one running good music.
How would you do it differently?
This is something I propose. I would look at the top 10 execs in 3 fields, in sports, film, and music. And I would look at
so Lucky, I'm just gonna try to get to another timestamp right quick, just for the sake of time, just to see if there's anything else. Let me see. It says media and anti-Semitism. Let's see.
I gotta ask you about parlor and engineering because I'm interested about that.
Doom, 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 doom.
Hey man, I'm actually trying to hold it together. You're pretty offensive towards a lot, and
I'm not looking to be offensive. I really want to bring people together and get these sales done.
But the word, 100%, I see your vision.
How do we do
but
that?
Somebody you care. Don't say Jewish media and Jewish controlled media.
JM.
Like, man, you sound like it sounds too much like 1930s Nazi Germany that was leading up to the atrocities.
Oh, he would say JM?
Yeah, he was branded JM. That's right. No, it's just the implied, like this memeified prejudice towards a group in a way that's going to lead to hate. And I know you don't mean that. I know you have love in your heart. That's
what's the prejudice towards a group that led to hate? BLM. BLM took a black person, showed his death on camera because, okay, there are examples of us being killed on camera. But if it was spread on camera, it was done on purpose by the media because 14, 20 kids get killed in Chicago every week and it's not spread that much. They, like you said, singled out a person, directed everything on that person, right, as the martyr, and raised the people that hadn't had any. We didn't have our 40 acres and a mule. We didn't have, like a lot of things, right? Like that black people have not ever been given. So once we're given just a little bit, like your life matters, right? Then we literally like, oh, okay, now we're being heard, right? But actually the death toll is up. The city where this happened is completely been turned to a war zone. It's actually something like Candace Owens can actually specify this better, but it's like its own city or something. Like they made it not be a part of the actual state or something. It's like DC and stuff. It's like Washington DC now and stuff. Like, and that has to be from a government, that's got higher level agenda written all over it.
Khan, I'll pray to the Father, Abraham, Jacob. Khan, so it's a pretty it's a pretty long interview, but there's a lot of gems within the interview. All praises. I pray that hopefully most I willing everybody was edified. We might have to as the time progresses, you see a lot of things trending with yay. And the main purpose is that this man is pushing this truth that we are the children of Israel. And that's the only thing that matters. That we are the children of Israel, and we have to come back to the Most High's commandments. He may not have got to that point yet, but he definitely started the conversation, and he definitely put that truth out there. There's a lot of people that listen to Kanye's music, man. There are so many people that look up to Kanye, that follow Kanye, that idolize Kanye even, right? So for him to say these things, this truth is going out, man, right? Now it's up to us as the children of Israel that teaches this truth. We got to be prepared to give that answer, because there's going to be those people that either scoff, they might be skeptical, but some people, they're going to generally want to know, is what this man's saying is the truth, and can you demonstrate that to me in the Bible? Right? This is where we come in. We have already been doing the work, right? You understand the Most High's word is not going to return void. He's putting that truth out there, and we're going to continue to push this truth until the Most High, through His Son, comes back with those chariots. All right. So I pray that everybody was edified. I'm just going to plug in the different channels that we have. Let me see here. 1 second. Just plug in different channels. Right, all praise to the Most High. We appreciate everybody that continues to donate, that likes the stream, that comments. We appreciate everybody that continues to, subscribes. All praise to the Most High for everybody that continues to tune in. The water for everybody tuning into the Shabbat service. We have Shabbat every Saturday. Continue to tune in. Right, so continue to subscribe to all the channels. LZH headquarters. Light of Zion, Treasure Coast, Light of Zion, Miami-Dade County, Augusta, Highlands County. All praise to the Most High. We got different channels that's being worked on as well. If you need to contact us as well for prayers, messages, or to congregate, we have a phone number. We have an email. We also have a Cash App at Cash App $LOZ Lee County. We do appreciate everybody's donations. We are still working on building that sanctuary for the people. We pray for we thank you, the water, for everybody's prayers. All praise to the Most High. I pray that everybody continues to stay on fire for the Most High and stay in the Spirit. And with that, I say Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel and death and destruction to Babylon. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, family.
Hello.